Heads they are a-spinning. Stage one of Donald Trump becoming the Republican nominee is now finished. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
You've heard the expression, perception is reality. And oftentimes in the world of politics or in the world of media, that holds true, at least for a while. But here is a situation where reality and perception are lined up, and they're perfectly synchronized. Donald Trump won the New York State Republican primary with nearly 60% of the vote. Ted Cruz came in, last numbers I saw, around 12.5%. The more important fact is that Donald Trump got 89 delegates. 89. Ted Cruz did not, unfortunately, hit the 20% mark, so he got 0 delegates. John Kasich got 3 delegates. That accounts for 92 of them. And there's one congressional district that is so close they haven't called it yet. And the 3 delegates that are left will be awarded based upon whether or not Trump or Kasich wins that particular congressional district. All right, perception and reality. Donald Trump blew the doors off of Ted Cruz. And what this is going to do is it's going to alter the discussion about the Republican nomination away from Utah and North Dakota and Colorado and the complaining that Trump supporters are doing about the fact that some of these elections don't have the populace voting, and that Ted Cruz won them because he's got a far better ground campaign than Donald Trump. It's going to shift away from that to the fact that Donald Trump blew the doors off of him. And now Ted Cruz mathematically is in the same boat as John Kasich. Now I want you to think about this for a minute. If you remember when Mike Huckabee ran for the presidency, he withdrew when he was running against, my memory is Romney. And he finally came to the place where he said, I can do the math. And even though he was winning certain primaries and had a tremendous grassroots following, it became clear that he could not win enough primaries. There was not enough delegates left for him to win the nomination process and come ahead with the majority of delegates at the convention. Okay? Remember, this is about who gets enough delegates to win the nomination. And at that point, what did Mike Huckabee do? He withdrew. He said it's over. But in this year's election, the hatred of Donald Trump is so fierce by the establishment for sure, and by some conservatives, true ideologically driven conservatives. Some of them are friends of mine who love righteousness, who love justice. They hate Donald Trump. They believe that he is the antithesis of what they want to see ideologically in the White House. And so they have gone all in for Ted Cruz. Earlier on, they might have been for Carson or one of the other candidates, Rand Paul, candidates who were also ideologically driven. But now that they have fallen away one after another, they're all in for Ted Cruz because they hate Donald Trump. So you've got 2 distinct factions of the Republican Party that hate Donald Trump. 1, the establishment. 2, true hardcore conservatives. Now, in bygone years, when a candidate got to the place where they simply did not have the mathematical possibility of prevailing, they withdrew. John Kasich has set the standard. We'll call it the bronze standard. It's not the gold standard. It's certainly not the silver standard. We'll call it the bronze standard. I'm coming in third, but I'm still going to be in this, and I'm going to do everything in my power to see to it that nobody gets the gold. There's no gold winner. No one crosses the finish line. And then maybe if there's someone staggering toward the end of the race, I can pounce them then from behind. I can do a jiu-jitsu move. Hi-ya! And I can cross the finish line, and I can be coronated as the Republican nominee. I am going to be 57 years old. April 25th, 1959, the doctor came out and told my dad, it's a boy. And I would like to ask you, if you are enjoying this program, to help us with a $57 gift. Yes, I am stooping that low, where I am actually using my birthday as a fundraising tool. Now, by the way, I'm not going to take the $57. You go to that website that you see there and look for the button on the page that says birthday, okay? And if you want to get one of our books, I'll autograph a book, I'll send it to you, I'd be happy to do it. But this is to basically pay for the show. We do not make money off of this. This is a labor of love to get this word out on over 130 stations around the country, but it takes money. The equipment takes money, paying Bobby Sue and Billy Bob, it takes money. So if you're blessed by this program, I ask you in honor of my birthday to give a $57 contribution to the Voice of Resistance. All right, let's do the math on this so that everyone understands. Right now, Ted Cruz has 559 votes, delegates. What is it, 671 that are left? All right, there's 671 delegates left in all the contests combined between now and the end of the primary season. If Ted Cruz won all 671, which he's not going to do, he'd still fall short. He'd have 1,230. And that's simply not going to happen, okay? So mathematically, Ted Cruz has now moved into the same category as John Kasich. I cannot win in the primary itself. I'm going to stay in as a spoiler. And I accept that. I mean, it's a valid game plan politically. The rules are the rules. And I actually concur with that. The rules may appear unfair, and oftentimes rules are. That's why rules get changed. The Ten Commandments are not unfair. They never get changed, okay? But human rules get changed. The Republican Party has changed aspects of its rules for decades. And they might end up changing this one. But at this point, the rule says you have to have 1,237. Now, here's what's going to happen. Look at what's coming up in April, all right? On April 29th, actually on the 26th, look at this graphic. On the 26th of April, you've got Connecticut with 28 delegates. It's winner take all if someone gets above 50%, or if no one gets above 50%, then it's divided with a 20% threshold, the winner take all by congressional district. Donald Trump is going to do really well in Connecticut. He may sweep it. It may be a total victory for him, almost like it was with New York. Maryland, look now with me on the 29th, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, those are all winner-take-all states, and with the exception of 14 of them are elected on the ballot. All right, you get to actually run for delegate. Then also on the 29th in Rhode Island, it's a percentage state with the threshold being 10%. Okay. In those, what is that, 172, right? There are 172 delegates in those 5 states. Donald Trump is going to come away with the lion's share of them. Let's say that he comes away with 150. All right, he's currently at 845. Let's do the math really quickly. Look, I'm using my godless device. 845 plus 150 puts him at 995. We'll call it 1,000, all right, for simple math. Coming up after that, he'll need 237 votes. What is left is what? Indiana, that's winner take all. Nebraska. Indiana could go to Cruz. Nebraska could go to Cruz. West Virginia, that's delegates are elected directly and they're bound by their preference. Trump is going to do fairly well there. He should take more than half those delegates there. Oregon, it's a percentage. And Washington, it's a percentage. So Trump is going to pick up delegates in 3 of those contests, even if Cruz wins Indiana and wins West Virginia. And then comes California. Donald Trump is way ahead in California. That's 172 delegates. Let the full weight of that sink in on you, okay? Trump will do the simple math. He's at 995. Let's say he has a really bad night in May. He's got several bad nights in a row, and we're only going to give him 25 delegates. That puts him at 1020. Then let's go to California, 172 delegates. That puts him at 1192. All right. At that point, he only needs 45 delegates. We've got Montana, New Jersey, New Mexico, and South Dakota. Oh, wait, did you see New Jersey? New Jersey's winner take all. Okay? New Jersey is 51 delegates. If you add 51 to 1192, it's 1243. He's in. That means he doesn't have to win Montana, doesn't have to win New Mexico, which is a percentage state, so he's going to get delegates there. Doesn't have to win South Dakota, which he has a very good chance of winning, and he has a good chance of winning Montana. Donald Trump is going to be the nominee. That has been my prediction. He's going to win with 1,237 votes. That is my prediction. He's going to win with a little bit more than that. I could be wrong, but I believe that that's what's going to happen. But one thing is certain. Ted Cruz cannot win the nomination unless it goes to a contested convention in Cleveland. I'll be right back. Friend, this program is supported by friends like you who believe in what we are doing. We run a very tight ship. Thankfully, we are on over 130 stations across the country, having tremendous impact. We get emails every day. We get letters in the mail, not every day, but almost every day. We hear from people who love what we're doing. What people don't understand is that it's sort of expensive to produce a television show like this. It doesn't require earth-shattering funds, but it does require financial help. So I am asking you, if you enjoy this program, throw us a $10 or a $20 bill every once in a while, or even a $50 or a $100 check. You see the address there on the screen. Your gifts are not tax deductible, by the way, because we want to be able to say what we want to say regarding politics without the IRS telling us no. So if you like the program, I ask for your support. Okay, I started the last segment talking about perception being reality. Ted Cruz is an honorable man. He is a true conservative. He is way more ideologically pure than Donald Trump or any candidate that probably, except for maybe Rand Paul, all right? And Ted Cruz is closer to reality than Rand Paul. Reality is defined by our maker. Now, Ted Cruz, he can't win on the first ballot. He can't. The math isn't there. So his goal is to stay in this race and try and get it so that Donald Trump cannot prevail. So if Trump comes in at 1,230, he's 7 delegates short. It could happen. All right, I don't think it's going to happen, but it could happen. Well, Reince Priebus, the head of the GOP, the Republican National Committee, said the rule's the rule. If he doesn't hit 1,237, the end, it goes to an open convention. Perception is reality. They're now doing polling numbers. I've seen 2 polls. One was at 68% of Republicans. The other was at 70% of Republicans that say the person with the most delegates when they go into the convention should be the nominee. Priebus is saying, no, you don't hit 1237. These are the rules. Period. He is being dogmatic. These are the rules, period. Then you've got somebody like Mitch McConnell, who yesterday shot his mouth off saying something to the effect of he's very confident that hopeful, some positive word that it's going to go to an open convention and that Trump is not going to be the nominee and that they'll get to pick someone. Now, there's two separate things at issue here, okay? Issue number one is that Trump is going to be the clear frontrunner going into the convention. Whether he has 1,237 is up for discussion, all right? It is. Even though I believe he's going to have it, it's up for discussion. And time is going to tell as well as the voters. But there's two other issues here. Number one, you have the base of the Republican Party, including people who did not vote for Donald Trump, who are saying the person with the most delegates should be the nominee. But there's something even more, and this is insidious, and this is going to outrage people. So you've got outrage potential number one, 70% of the Republicans saying, look, the guy with the most delegates should win. There's one way to tick off a lot of Republicans. The second way is Mitch McConnell's way. According to the current Republican rules, somebody has to have won 8 primaries to get the nomination. All right, so the only 2 people standing that have gotten 8 victories are Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. So the way the rules are written right now, the only 2 people that could become the Republican nominee are Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. That's it. So if it comes to Trump with 1,200 and Cruz with 800 and the rest divided, well, then according to the current rules, you're going to have to just horse trade on the floor, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until somebody hits 1,237 between Cruz or Trump. So Mitch McConnell is saying, we're going to go ahead and we're going to change the rules. You can't talk to me right now. We're going to go ahead and change the rules. Hold on, I'm doing my show right now, and even though you're a producer, a big shot, an Emmy award-winning producer, I can't talk to you, okay? This is all on tape. Okay, bye. That's actually, we're filming a really important series. He's an Emmy award-winning producer, and I had to take his call, but I can't talk to him right now. So you've got 2 potential places where the Republican establishment is going to enrage the base. Place number 1, we don't care who had the most delegates. Place number 2, we're going to change the rules so that we can nominate Jeb Bush, Mitt Romney, John Kasich, Marco Rubio, whoever. Paul Ryan. We're going to change the rules. Now, let me be really, really clear. If that happens, Hillary will be the next president. There's no question in my mind about that. I believe that Donald Trump is going to trounce Hillary if they go head-to-head. I believe Ted Cruz will defeat her. It'll be closer with Cruz. But if it's somebody else, if it's not one of those 2, you can take it to the bank. Hillary's going to be the next president. Because there are members of the Republican base that will say, we've had it. You ripped us off, you used us, you lied to us, you manipulated us, you cheated us over and over and over again, and we're staying home. And you can have Hillary for your president. And guess what? That's what the Republican establishment would rather have than Donald Trump. Heaven save us from our friends. I am going to be 57 years old on April 25th, and I am asking you to pray for me, pray for our TV show, and if you have been blessed by this program, I'm asking you to give, if you're able to, a $57 gift. Yes, I'm using my birthday as a shameless fundraising ploy. This program, the studio, the staff, all of the expenses that it takes to put up a good TV show, it costs money, and the money comes from viewers like you, from supporters. So, by the way, if you want to give $570, do it. Randall, what do you want for your birthday? There is a guitar that I would like, but I'm not going to do that. These gifts are not going to go for that. Can they email me? Can they email me and say, I want to buy a guitar for you? All right. Anyway, do $57 if you possibly can to help with this program. I thank you in advance, and I ask you for your prayers that we could keep doing a great show. Oh. I heard an incredible statement yesterday. By the way, my birthday's coming up, April 25th. I'll be 57 years old. I know I don't look that old, and I thank you. It's Mary Kay and coloring my facial hair here. I heard a line yesterday. This is so good. Bobby Sue, you need to hear this. Listen. You want to know the difference between you and the rest of the world? The rest of the world does not wake up in the morning thinking about you. All right, so that's a good line, isn't it? We've got, I'm going to be 57 years old, and we've been running these little commercials. And I thought, it's a cute little fundraising thing. We're on over 130 stations all over the country. We've got a lot of viewers. Guess how many people have responded? One. One viewer has responded and said, okay, I'll give the ministry $57 in honor of your birthday. The difference between the rest of the world and me is that the rest of the world doesn't wake up thinking about me. So we're putting together this What Would Muhammad Do series. It's called What Would Muhammad Do? The Shadow of the Sword. This is going to be released not just in America, it's going to be released all over Europe. All right? This is the best television or movie cinema production ever done regarding the life of Muhammad and connecting Muhammad's life to Islamic terrorism. There's nothing like it. We've been working on it in earnest for almost a year and a half. We need to raise a lot of money. We're right now, even as I speak, we are hiring voice actors for English, but also voice actors for French, for Dutch, for German. This is a big deal, and we need help. And so I thought, look, we'll do the $57 trick. You know what I mean? This will help bring in some revenue. One person. One person. I would cry. It's like getting digital fruitcake. No one wants fruitcake. Do you love me? Yes. Send me fruitcake. No, please don't send me fruitcake. I've got enough. If you believe in this program, if you want to see this television series, What Will Muhammad Do? Get finished, and if you are willing to be a part of this cute little gimmick, then I ask you, please, go to the screen. Look at the screen right there. There's an address where you can send a gift. Make it out to the Voice of Resistance or the Society for Truth and Justice. This is not a gift for me, okay? If you send $57 and the check is made out to me, it's going to go into the ministry account. We're going to use every penny to fund this ministry, this work, and we're going to use it for the What Would Muhammad Do series. It's just that simple. So, we're on in about 130 stations around the country. You, sir, or you, ma'am, you're watching in one of those cities with a whole bunch of other people. But you are watching right now, and you're thinking, somebody else will do it. Clearly, that's not the case. Clearly, only one person in the whole country, has taken the time to give a gift. So I'm asking, for your city, all right, would you conceive of yourself right now as being the only one who's going to give? And if one person from all 130 markets gives a gift, well, that's going to put us at over $6,000. That will help us tremendously. It's going to cost more than that for us to deal with French, Dutch, German, okay? It's just not cheap. And we go week to week. So this is about, are you being blessed? There's a scripture that says the workman is worthy of his hire. If you're benefited spiritually, then give something back monetarily or materially. So if you're being benefited by this program, I ask you to help. And if you want to see this series done, I'm asking you to give $57 in honor of my birthday. Thank you. God bless you.